Well, I need. All right. Yes, of course. If you're here in person, always log in, boot your Premiere. Let's get that out of the way. I am going to, hey, welcome to this edition of class. We're going to continue the lecture that we started this last time. Of course, we're going to start, hey, let's see, can I do the piece balloons? I'm not making any balloons this time for some reason. Okay. We're going to start by watching a couple different students' pieces. Anytime you want me to look at something, especially people online or not coming in person, please submit it. We'll view it in class, or I'll view it and give you private notes if you prefer. But I like to showcase in class and get feedback. Not all right. There's Michael. Hey, Michael, what's up? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. It was a Morty, I think. Yeah, with him, Morty, who was yeah. Perfectly said that. It says Zoom. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. All right. All right, going into my screen. We're gonna open up my project. It's locating my media. Oh, a lot of stuff's offline. Cool. I will just say offline all, because I know I don't have my stuff I used last time online, but that's okay because I'm gonna be using something else. And we're gonna start with, I'm gonna go into my hard drive, and I believe I downloaded, it's probably my downloads, to be honest. Yep, and here we go. Mateo submitted this for us to view, and we're going to take a look. I'm going to actually, let's do a new sequence, file, new sequence, file new sequence right there, or Command N to get a new sequence. We're going to say Mctv 43 preview. And why am I making a new sequence? Well, because I'm going to do this. I'm going to take Mateo's piece, and I'm going to actually say, yes, let's change the sequence settings. This is going to match the export settings. So we're going to view this as much as possible. Can we turn, we have, wait, this is the preferred lighting, right? Only one set. Yeah, are we happy with this? Or do we want them darker in here? You tell me right now. We can turn it off when we're watching video specifically, but flip it so it's one, two instead. Whoa, too much. Whoa, darkness. Jason, figure out the combination you like the best.
I think this is the preferred one.
You want to try, Cameron? Let's see if you can do it.
Unscrew the bulb.
All right. Those are like the only options. Seems like it's two. Yeah, all right. Well, this is worse than it was. All right, that's better, right? Are we happy with this? Okay, we can watch it and we can always change our minds, okay? All right. Yeah. Okay, Mateo, we're gonna watch and then we'll comment. You can definitely jump on your audio and talk to us. But of course, we're gonna watch and see what it's like. Okay, we're gonna watch in Premiere. All right. We are not hearing anything as of right now, so we're gonna fix that. Make sure our audio is turned on here. Oh, you know what? I know what happened. There's no audio because did I have a mute? No. Let's see. All right. Well, I'm going to go in this instance, I'm going to go into Premiere. I'm going to go into settings. I'm going to check my audio hardware, and look, it's going to external headphones. That's the problem. So I'm going to swap it to so we can hear it in class. And all right, I can already tell we can hear it. Okay. All right. Second time's the charm. I'm falling out here. All right. Woo. All right, let's stop right now. I'm gonna talk about this a little bit. First and foremost, people in the class, Mateo, do you want to say anything? And you can type in and I'll read it. But any comments on that? Basically, a fan edit. We had music montage put together to you can do fan edits. That's edits. We're doing edits. That's the most important part of it. Okay, and you're gonna see my real lack of sports knowledge. I assume that's that super famous football. That's Messi, Messi.
It was Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo.
That's Ronaldo. See, I didn't know. See, you could have got me. Like, there's one like. Can I name any other soccer football players? Probably. There's the Beckham, right? And then there's Pele. There you go. I'm not a sports guy. It was going to be an Overwatch, but my clips got reset, so I decided to do Ronaldo. Okay, well, I liked your fan edit. Now, to me, you can absolutely use footage. You don't have to take it yourself. So taking something like that, grabbing clips, use a program called Clip Grab off of YouTube, which is an easy way to grab YouTube videos and re-edit. For the purpose of this course, if you want to film something, great. If you want to just like put something together, like maybe you want to take like the Phantom Menace and re-edit it so there's extra Jar Jar in it or something. You could totally do that for this class as well. For me, I really think what Mateo, what you could work on to make this a little bit better. You were using Streamlabs to record the clips and audio. Well, that's a good way too. You edited in Premiere, I'm guessing. Okay, sorry. I'll send you the link shortly. The link in announcements should work. Clip Grab is the free program. You can download it. All right, sorry, I'm going to email myself this so I can help a student. We're all seeing my email now, right now. Cool. All right, Gmail. Let's do and compose. We're going to do this. We're going to send it to myself so I can just get on my phone and send. Okay, back to Premiere. All right, sorry, I'm just helping a student join the Zoom right now. Right. Here we go. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to send it to you right there. Okay, great. All right. Okay, Mateo, getting back to your edit. The only thing that I would note is, and this is something that we should all think about when we are editing, especially if we're doing something that is very music focused. Let's try to make our edits match beats. What's really interesting about music specifically is there are inherent cuts designed for music. And what does that mean? It's like, think about your beats. Most musics are on what, a 4-beat structure, right? And if we just listen to this music, especially every one of these beats can be a cut. Now, you don't have to make an edit on every one of those beats, but what I would do is something like, look at this edit specifically. See, that one works. There's a beat and he sits up, okay? Let's sure. Okay, that one I would fix. It seems all right. So check this out. I'm gonna just do a little quick edit here. So your image here just changes a little bit after the beat. And actually, look what we can do, since we're going to be talking about audio a little bit. We can bring up your audio levels here, and we can even like click into here. Don't want to do that. Did I mess it up? Let's. Oh.
Can't even put your. Oh. Dude, didn't you put that in that way?
Oh, I'm in edit. That's my problem. Okay, file. I want to. What happened to the computer?
You broke it.
Oh,
Didn't
okay.
even-
All right. All right, let's go back here. So I'm just going to scrub to the very first part of this clip, make my edit, and just be like, okay. So that if we're going off of the history noise instead of. So this is the edit right here. And maybe you're like trying to show his face, but I don't know, because you see that? Okay. So what happens is, as editors, what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually use what's the suspension of disbelief. We want our viewers to not notice the edits. And how do we do that? Well, we do that by doing match cuts. We do that by just making it as seamless as possible. When we really see edits, it's really when something's jarring. And maybe we want to showcase our edits, but when we're able to help hide the edit, and the way we hide the edit is maybe a dynamic edit or a match cut, it's where one thing cuts and then it matches to the next shot. Or we do use transitions that hide the edits, which helps transition and doesn't make it such a hard jump cut. Why do we do this? It just helps our audience not to be taken out of the scene. We want to watch our scenes. We want to watch our fan edits. And I think that, you know, especially in music videos, if you cut on the beats, it's going to help hide the edits more, because the audio transition, to me, I'm watching this video and I'm seeing every one of your edits that don't hit the beats. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just, of course, I'm a different type of viewer because I'm watching edits. But if we view this one more time, the beat hitting, it just helps explain why that transition's happening. Does that make sense to all of you? Yeah, exactly. It hits something in our brains and we accept it way more than even, you know, like if we look back at what it is. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it's less than a second off your edit. But sometimes these little minor tweaks that you can do really makes it all really makes it. And the thing that I want to do, especially when you're stealing footage or you have this much footage, my question to you is like, do you need to show everything that's in that clip? Maybe you're just using every single Ronaldo clip you have, but like, feel free to trim the start or the beginning to make your edits feel more better. And those are going to be the videos that just inherently people want to watch more because it makes you feel better. All right. Good job, Mateo. I think you can definitely do another round of revisions here. But I was really happy with it. Your ending just kind of ends, but maybe you're just, you know, okay. So your ending, you have a fade to black, which is good. A dissolve out, maybe fade to black. I don't know what you did. We'll talk about it. But you didn't have an audio. Your audio doesn't fade out. Now, if it was me, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into effects. I'm going to go into audio transitions. You weren't really sure what to do for the ending. That's fine. To me, what I like to do is I either fade them both out. So a crossfade. I'm going to use what's called an exponential fade here. I'm just going to click and drag it onto my clip here. Now, if we watch, the audio and the video both fade out together. All right. Or what I would do is sometimes I like to, let's say we're going to change your ending here, get rid of that fade to black. But I'm still going to fade out my music. So look what happens if we just straight cut at the end. That kind of works for me too. Obviously, I can also, I'm going to click and drag on my audio dissolve here. And I'm going to make it shorter. Let's make it half a second. Here we go. That kind doesn't work for me, to be honest. I like a slower fade out. Exponential fade is a sharper curve on audio. We're going to talk more about audio curves and how to edit that right now, but let's just, that's a possible ending too. It's just preference if you want to do dissolve or whatnot. All right. All right, I'm going to check out one thing. We're going to make sure. What's wrong? Low battery. Okay. All right. We want to copy this to here. And we're going to do that. All right. All right. Now, while we're doing this, I'm transferring footage. But what I need to do is this passport right here, what I have is formatted in what is called Windows NFT file system, right? No, I'm going to do it right here. I have it all set up. What are you looking for? You just need like a 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. Yeah, I mean, but I'm asking what the inputs are, 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. Do you want to see if Geronimo has one of those? Jason? Well, I mean, we could text him. All right, let's text Geronimo. Cable. All right, there we go. Do you have a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch cable? All right. So I text him, maybe he'll show up. Okay. But what I'm going to do is, okay, now there is a file format. We're going to actually format this hard drive. We're going to keep it that. I'm going to make it exFAT. Now, why am I choosing exFAT? Well, exFAT is a universal format for a hard drive. So it can be read on a Mac or a PC. I need to do this because if I'm transferring footage, and if you get footage from me or Grant, the file, the Windows file, and also what's the other one? I can see it right here, I think. Let's see, exFAT. Or FAT32 is the other one. That's the traditional one. Those have limits on how much files I can transfer. So what does that mean? That means that I'm unable to transfer these things to edit, which I'm transferring dead before midnight. All right. This is all for Cleopatra. 350 gigs, 3 hours. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it took less, right? All right. So we're starting that. All right. We'll figure that out later. If it's an hour, we'll be concerned. All right. All right. And we'll take that and we'll put that over here too. Okay. All right. Okay. Back to editing. All right, great. So let's see. We have people joining. No, okay. Wasn't sure what to do for editing. Thank you, Mateo, for sharing. That's how we're going to start. And actually let's let's jump off of Mateo here and start talking about other elements. Now we talked about our effect window. We talked about making edits on the timeline. Let's talk about audio since we talked about video. Yes. Can I get one, please? At your convenience. Okay, Geronimo's gonna bring. Geronimo's gonna bring one for you. Okay. Okay. So let's, yes, yeah, okay.
Is there like a specific place that you got music from or just?
Oh, that's a great question. Where can we access music from? Okay. Well, that's a great, that's really interesting. So I use okay, it depends. What is your point? Are you trying to monetize on YouTube? Uh, if we're trying to monetize on YouTube, what can't we use? Can't use copyrighted music that somebody else created for money, right? So that means I can't download me trying to think of a popular song. So I'll just go to my go-to Smash All Star by Smash Mouth, right? Well, I can absolutely download All Star by Smash Mouth and I edit that to my video. I can make a music video on that. I can even upload it to YouTube. What I can't do is monetize my channel then, because technically I'm making money off of All Star Smash Mouth or Smash Mouth's All Star, and the good vibes from, of course, the classic film Shrek. Um, but what you can do, you can still use it and you can edit it. It's just the problem is if you are making a short film and you want to put it in, some festivals won't let you use it, or if you want to like try to make money off of it. But if you just want to get views on YouTube, that's totally fine. And if you just are making something in a class, you can use all the copyright music if you want. YouTube actually offers what's called royalty-free music. And royalty-free music is music that's been created by an artist who just wants their music out there and you can use it for free. So what you can do is I go online, I type royalty free music. YouTube has a ton of free music that you can use and the artist says no problem. You can use that. I pay for a service where I actually have access to a bank of music. It's called Envato Elements. I pay 20 bucks a month and I can download as much of that licensed music and use it in all of the social media posts. Now, you can also download a song. You can go to royalty free music and search it. And some songs will say you can use this if it's nowhere, but if you intend on making money, you need to pay a nominal license. It could be $6, it could be $60. Those are all options. So just know, but the biggest and best way to not pay for music is to make it yourself. You know, you can make MIDI music, you can do whatever. Does that answer your question, Cameron? Okay.
One of the platforms I use is Pixel Bay, and so
There's
that's it.
Pixelbay, there's tons of options. So, and if you know a filmmaker in this class, you're gonna find out where all the free music is. But yeah, type royalty free music. And you, again, I use Envato. There's a Video Hive for actually stock footage. Audio Jungle is one that I use. So those are all elements. So, but again, you could use Clip Grab and go to your favorite song on YouTube and steal it that way. It is stealing, technically, it's stealing, but if you use it in your own thing, that's totally fine. I mean, we're learning. So I'm going to tell you right now, you can get away with a lot just by being a student and saying, hey, I'm learning. People now, are you making money? Now, if you're making money, then they're going to be like, hey, pay me because you got money off of that. One of the most notable things is there was a student here and he edited a video and it's open. You should be able to just open it. There you go. Thank you. There's a student made a video, posted it on YouTube, instantly got 1 million views. Whoa. Wow. Maybe I should become a content creator. In fact, we can look this up right now. Let's go to YouTube. Gap student, yeah. My student in the class made a video for their final for the class, and Giggly Dickens.
Yeah.
Giggly Dickens, and let's see, do they have? Yeah, no, absolutely. It's runners. 1.3 million views. right
I
here.
know, this sounds crazy.
1.3, look, he's got 33,000 subscribers. It's because he started making content based off of this one video. And look, how many comments? His biggest issue. All right, do we have to watch Madam Web? Okay. Not hearing
see the
anything,
future.
so let's go
Seeing
back
the
to
future
Madam
is only the start.
Web.
There are powers you don't
Sounds.
even know you're capable of. And there are others who need your protection.
You have to trust me.
All right, that movie looks bad. All right, let's see. All right. All right, so a zombie, zombies. It's such a good song. So Nick here knows what the issue is we're using a song that's copywritten and it's from 28 Days Later. And yes, which is a zombie movie, right? With fast running zombies. Very cool. Hey, runners, the episode 1, check it out. Very cool. And I always say, oh, I'm not even subscribed. I should subscribe. Okay, there we go. Oops, it's Christopher. Oops. All right, well, you could see that they have like many videos, and what's fun is, yeah, they're working on Kermwick Chapter 2, it looks like. Or yeah,
It's supposed to come out today.
is it?
3 o'clock.
Oh, it's premiering today. Good to know.
That's in like 15 minutes.
Hey, maybe we'll watch it. You could see 72-hour film festival. Some of them are like not as successful, but I mean, thousands of views versus, look, a million, another close to a million. They used to have one. Where's the one? Oh, Kermwick right here, 3 billion views right there. So,
The boss is by far the best one.
oh yeah, the boss right here, Johnny the Boss is worth watching. Yeah, check it out. That's my promo. Okay, we'll go back into Premiere. Let's get back to what we were talking about here. Yeah, he did that video. Yep. All right. All right, so I'm gonna import some footage and now it says 2 hours. Great. All right, Mac time.
Couldn't put it into a festival.
No. His big problem was he got a million views, couldn't get any money off of that. Like, couldn't monetize that video. But every video he made after that, including the 3.3 million one, has been monetized. So he's been able to make some, sweet money off of stealing Kermit's identity, right? Which
Yeah, anything that includes, the original
Yeah.
content, you don't own it, and so it takes the studio or whatever.
Yeah, you can't get paid. Basically, it's a non-monetizationable one on it. And some artists will even restrict your video for being on YouTube. Try to put something up with a Beatles image or music on it, and YouTube will ban it, won't even play it on YouTube. There's very selective artists who don't allow their stuff to be uploaded. It depends on the festival, or yeah, like some some festivals, especially if they're going to broadcast big ones, will like say, no, if you don't have the rights to everything, you can't put it in. But you could get in the Gavies. I think the runners won a Gavy or something. So don't worry about that if you're trying to get a Gavy. All right. Let's go back here. Why I don't like the full screen. So let's go back. Is that my problem? Oh, is it sorry, I was gonna make a joke about okay. I'm going to import some footage. Let's file import. You want free food? When Geronimo comes, he could let you into the TV studio and there's food there. Popcorn and candy. Okay, let's import the horror film. I'm gonna import this. All right, this is actually, I think, Nick's horror film, possibly. Let's go ahead. All right, tells me all the files that didn't work, but it's okay. Let's look at horror. We're gonna look there and we can see our audio. All right, now I'm bringing this in just to talk about audio. And we're gonna just grab, ooh, bulk. All right, double click somewhere I shouldn't. All right, let's bring this in. It's not yours, it's a different one then. All right. All right, let's go here. And what we're gonna do is, okay, so what I'm gonna do first is, again, I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna drag and drop this onto my timeline. I'm gonna drag the whole clip on the timeline. And what we can see already, it's cropped in. So I'm gonna go Control, and I'm going to say scale to frame size. Okay, there we go. And now what we're looking at, I'm going to unmute these levels. You can mute the channels, but we can see that importing this video came in with 2 already audio channels. So channel 1 and 2. What's notable is it's the same color here. And if we zoom in, we can actually see the waveforms. And notably, we can see this line right here. What do you think that line means? That's the marker. That's where the slate clap goes. Watch. It's the loudest part. The louder noises go up. And why do you think that's important? Especially when we're making film. That's how we're going to sync our audio, because our video came in with video, but also came in with what's called scratch audio. And scratch audio is the audio that's recorded by the camera. Now, the camera's not always going to have, especially when you use better equipment, the camera's audio is not going to be good. Let's see what it sounds like.
That
Sounds like Renan. So he talked, but we can't really tell what he's saying, right? Go. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here into my audio. Now, hopefully we can find this audio pretty easily. But looking at the audio, just by numbers, I'm guessing it's closer to the start. And all right. Now, an easier way to indicate that we're at the right clip, of course, is let's go to scratch audio and see scene 1, take 2. Now, going into this clip, making sure I'm getting the right audio, I'm going to go see where the spike in audio is. This is what a waveform looks like. This is a visual representation audio. So let's see what.
Scene 1, take 2.
Oh, look, I got it perfect. Wow, lucky me. I chose the second one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to click, and I'm going to click right here where see this film that represents video. The little waveform here represents audio. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click and drag, and I'm going to drag my audio down to a 3rd level. Okay, so now that I dragged it down, is everything great? Perfect, right? No, it's not. We can tell visually it's not even synced up. So what can we do to sync it? Well, first and foremost, the easiest way, or is the old way, is we can go by the visual representation or audio representation. Why do we do the marker? Scene 1, take 1, clap. The clap is so we can sync everything. So we do that by looking in here, and I'm going to go in, and what's interesting too is like, look at where the waveform is. We're on the playhead. We're going to go and mark it right where it is. And what's interesting is we actually can hear it before we see it go. see the clap. Why? Why do we think that is? Any science people here? Sounds faster than light. So we're gonna hear the clap before we see it, even in this one single frame. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark this. You're looking at me like I said it wrong,
He says sounds faster than light.
isn't it?
No.
Is it? It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Dyslexic.
I was like.
So we're gonna, yeah, okay.
You don't see you see the lightning before the thunder.
Okay, you're right. You're right. I had a feeling I was wrong, but okay, Jason, shut up. Everyone, I'm dyslexic. Also, I'm dumb. So
Two.
that's what I meant. Thank you. Okay. Well, look. But also, let's go here, and I can actually click here. Remember, we can make these larger, smaller, and I'm just going to make this whole level larger so we can see. But look, the visual representation, I'm actually going to zoom on in, find, oh, see, I hit the space bar and it took me to the playhead. So I'm actually going to zoom out again. Let's scrub over. I'm going to zoom in and let's get our blade tool. Remember C for cut. And I'm actually going to cut there. Let's get rid of that excess. And now I'm going, looks like the mark of the actual sync point happened in between a frame. So we're going to cut to the closest frame possible. Now that I made that edit, we can go back here and I can click and drag to my edit. All right, let's just see, because I had snapping on it, went to the playhead, but I'm going to go right here and we should see a visual representation of it looking as synced as possible. Looks right there. Okay, let's see what happens.
That. Go.
Yeah, it's definitely a clip, but okay, we synced it there. Okay, so syncing our audio. Now what this means is we can mute that and we can work off of this audio. Now the audio and how we record it is going to be the audio mix. Okay, channel 1. You hidden. Okay. All right, sorry, I got distracted. Okay, view hidden. Okay, so it looks like it's synced. It sounds like it's synced. We can mute the audio channel and it's going to give us the better quality audio. Now, the audio that were recorded is a boom mic, could be a lavalier mic. It depends what we've recorded on. All right, let's choose a different clip, something with talking that will showcase this lesson. It's probably just boom because they don't say anything, right? Okay, let's see. Let's just gonna go through, see if he's got any audio or if it's just a creepy. Okay, yes, talking in this one. All right, so let's pull this audio in. Oh, audio and video. Oh, let's do that. And we have our audio and our video clip here. Let's see. Do we have our marker, I think, right here. Looks good. All right. So then I just randomly just 2, 3, 4, 5. I went 5 clips down. So I'm going to check my, let's look over here. C9 take 1. Okay. So we're there 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's try that.
Scene 9, take 2.
Oh, one more up.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Take 1. Take 1.
Okay. Now let me show you a interesting thing. So look, if I just line them up, it's going to be out of sync.
That's. That.
Of course, it's not synced. Okay. So what can we do? Well, we can do exactly how we just did it. Or what's cool about Premiere is I'm going to select everything right here. And I'm going to do Control. And then I'm going to open up a this one right here, Synchronize. Now, Synchronize allows us to synchronize audio. If you have a clear marker, AI technology will go in and synchronize the clip for it yourself. And look, automatically after that, it just jumped. The longer the clip, the more it can take. But because we have a clear marker, we instantly have synced this. And we can see that, like, oh, the loud parts, we can see the visual representation, right? So that's how we manually or automatically. Now, the big problem is if you're the number one way that you absolutely need to be able to do this is you need scratch audio. So that means your video and your separate audio needs a reference. So basically the computer is looking at this bad audio and comparing it to the good audio to sync it. Now, if you don't have an audio reference, let's say you didn't plug in the onboard microphone or you recorded level 0, there's no way to sync it other than the visual representation, right? So you can see the visual clap of the board and you can match it up and sync it that way. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. Yes. So basically, if I was recording on my iPhone, but I was also recording, I had a lavalier microphone plugged into an external audio device. I would have two files, right? I would have the video that my iPhone gave me, and I would have the audio file that the external recorder gave me. So then I'll have the two files. But let's say my iPhone didn't record any audio. I just had video. I couldn't do the automatic synchronization because there's no audio reference. That makes sense? To the separate, because the separate devices won't sync because they don't know that. Now we do use time code when we use grants material. So that's another way to synchronize it, but we won't talk about that right now because that's more in the future. Okay. But let's get into audio. Yeah.
But what, like if you just record your audio on your iPhone, right? So if you move your audio off, because the files are connected itself, on your timeline, it'll show that you're negative how many seconds or how many positive that you're ahead on your time.
So you can still move the other audio there.
Yeah, you could move it around still, but they're connected in their the code, and so you visually could see that.
Look, I'm doing it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
See, if I move the audio that is linked to our video, now it knows that this audio is off by 12 seconds and 25 frames. And that's it. And now it's back to normal, or I can move it off. It'll just tell me, it's saying like you're making your video and audio out of sync. That's the audio and video that when I imported it was linked together. This green video, even though now it's perfectly synced, or this green audio, now it's perfectly synced. If I move it, it's not going to tell me that it's messed up. But once I have it, I can link them together just by going in here and saying link. Where's the link? Oh, I can group it. I'm gonna have to unlink it from the other source, I think is the problem. I think that's the issue. I didn't have them all selected. See, so now I unlinked it from there, and I believe I should be able to link it now. So there we go. Now now they're linked together.
So what's the difference grouping in? Because it showed group.
I can group multiple things. And basically now it doesn't do that link effect, right? Like it's recognizing everything together. Okay. But let's go back and talk a little bit more about audio. When we're looking at our audio, the key things to know, and when we're making our edits and everything, we're going to want to layer a bunch of different audios. We're also going to look at, like, when things are not muted, we can talk about raising volume or raising gain. Gain is going to be digital way to increase your volume. Now, our audio has to be recorded at a certain level to get good quality. Hopefully you have a good audio operator on set who's going to record it at a level that's in between -12 and a 0, so that it's got a good volume. Now, when we're talking quiet or talking loud, it can fluctuate. The biggest issue is we're going to have issues if your audio is recorded too low or too high. It'll be when it's too low, we can add volume and raise it up. There will be some hiss, but we can remove the hiss. It's actually easier to work with lower audio than higher audio, because if your waveforms have been overmodulated, that means that the waveforms go up and down. We can see this visual representation right here, right? Like they go up and down, but if they peak out and they go all the way to the top, you're going to cut off some digital information, and that's going to be eliminated. But what can we do to our audio with here in the audio class to start with? Well, first and foremost, just looking at this right here, I have this line that's going on right here, right? And what is that line? That line is actually the volume of the individual clip. If I click it, I can actually drag the whole clip up by 15 decibels. See, it goes all the way up, which makes that individual audio channel, or actually it makes this specific clip go louder, so that if we compare it, I'm going to mute this, I'm going to mute that. Now we've raised this up 15.
Hey. That.
This is a horror film. Okay, that's loud. Let's compare it to the other channel that I didn't. It's not as loud, right? Still loud.
That.
So that's the difference what 15 dB can do. Again, this is my audio monitor. That's how I'm telling where my level is at. The other way I can raise the level is I can raise the level here. And so far it's at 0 gain. I can raise that all the way up for another 15. And that means that another 15% or 15 decibel, which makes the only problem with doing this right here is I'm raising the level of the entire channel. So that means I'm raising the volume. So every clip that I have on this timeline, which we can see, unfortunately, look, I've just raised the level of the music now. Let's see what happens when I add 15 decibels to our song. It's pretty loud, right? Maybe I wouldn't want that. Maybe I don't want this whole level. So then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to adjust the audio here. that's something to do if you want to raise the whole level. Maybe you're working with just one clip and one source, and you want to raise everything up 3 decibels or something. That you can totally do that. Now, what about if I have a clip where something's really loud and then something that's quieter? How do I, other than just raising the whole thing up itself, this just makes the louder parts loud and the quiet parts louder, but still, I don't want it all loud.
Set.
See, it all gets loud. How do I make the quiet parts loud and the loud parts at a similar level? Well, we're going to get into this tool right here, the pen tool. P is your hotkey. And we're going to change our cursor to the pen tool. Now, the pen tool allows us to make what we talked about last time, keyframes. We're going to make audio keyframes. And basically, look what happens when I click onto the line of the audio. This dot right here appears. And look, I can click and make a whole bunch of them. But what happens? Okay, so I click and I have my dot. Now, okay, I have one single dot. I'm raising it up and down. Okay, nothing. It's pretty much exactly the same, except now I have a keyframe dot. Well, look what happens when I make a second dot. And I go back and I click my dot. Oh, look. I'm raising or lowering the level here. But now we can see that it goes diagonally up and now it's louder over here. What do you think that is called? This is what's called a fade. We're basically fading. If this was an analog audio, you're essentially looking at me going in and turning the volume up on this one channel. So this is an audio fade. Now, just like our dissolves, or our keyframes, what happens if I make them closer or farther apart? Basically, it depends on how fast you want it to go. Do you want the audio to really go up fast, or do you want it to do a slow, gradual increase? Maybe when we're messing with music, that'll be something that we want to deal with. But what's also interesting about these keyframes is now I can go in and I can, go and raise the level in a specific area and lower the air level in the other area. Let's see what this sounds like. We can really hear the room tone a lot more, right? That part's a lot louder. Nothing's really happening, but we will go back to the talking. It's more dramatic. We'll mess with audio and video. But basically, you now know how to fade up your audio and video in out of a track by using the pen tools. Now, what's interesting too is our pen tool. We can use it all over the place. Let's say I want to, though, I basically check this out. Let's go over here. I'm going to go ahead, change back to my cursor icon. Let's take Mateo's music. I'm going to take Mateo's music. And we're going to put Mateo's music on a different channel down here. And let's put it over our scene right here. All right. Let's put that up to 0 where Mateo's. All right, let's check out our scene now. And I'm going to raise this up to a certain level. And all right, we're muted there. And I don't know. Just going to get rid of that. Okay. Okay. It's weird how the music kind of matches, or it really like. Oh, this is a horror film. So what was your? Okay, he's not assaulting her in that sense. He stabs her in this scene. This is one of our genre projects that we did. Yeah, from 2 years ago. So this is the horror version. And genre projects is we use the same lines, but we do different genres. So he says something and then he like, impressive, isn't it? And then he whips out a like knife and stabs her with it or something, right? if you're editing this clip, I'm just using it as example. But yeah, it does seem pretty gross, and the music seems even gross. Really gave me the Promising Young Woman vibe, almost, if you've seen that film. But my reasoning of showing this clip is let's actually affect the music. Now, what's notable about our levels is if we take the music all the way down to minus 99999 dB, what'd that do? And also what's interesting about our audio levels, right? We start at 0 decibels. So that means we're going to go into negative decibels. But if we go all the way down to negative infinity, that's basically no music, right? You're zeroing out your level there. But with like the music, since the music's so loud, if we take it down to like minus 21, maybe it's just background music. Absolutely. Good question. What we can do is go over here to effects control. We can click here and our volume is right here. Look, it's negative 21. So I can actually raise it all here. We do it over here and we're actually going to start making it, we're going to give it a fade up and a fade down. Look, and you can see that if I do my effects panel, I can change it up here. Now, the big issue with audio is I think audio is much easier to work down here. If you're up here in the visualization representation, I don't see the benefit. I like working down here and making the fades up and down. You can go in here, but really when I mess with keyframes, I'm really messing with my video keyframes more so than anyway. But like Premiere, there's multiple ways to skin a cat. You can do everything however you want. Yeah. So what? Yeah. I just think it's easier to be like, oh, this works. This works easier for me to be like, oh, I want it louder here than to go up here and move it. But and then maybe we want, so then we can look here and then maybe we want this to go down and we want this to go much louder. Super creepy scene. I'll choose a not creepy one next time. This is the scene that like if you downloaded the horror, you can do it. Mateo, I'll upload some stuff and send it to you tomorrow, okay? It's like what? Sorry.
It's like using Comic Sans.
Yeah. It's weird, but that's the power of music. Like if we chose creepy music to put on here, right? Like it totally changes the tone. Let's go back over here. It dropped. All right. Well, we'll have to watch it later. Let's import. Oh, sorry. Here's my spinning ball. All right. I know I have it. Imagine not having it. All right. Sorry. I'm wasting my time. I was gonna put all star under this. Okay. Oh, let's talk about one more thing. Okay, so in our audio effects, our effects panel right here, this is where we can get our effects that have our video effects that have, and we're going to go over more effects on Monday, but basically the ones that I want to teach you today are our audio transitions, which are cross fades. The fades are basically, we can put them on the beginning and the end. They don't ever go on in the middle. That's why we do the keyframes. But basically what a crossfade is it's a slow, gradual fade out. And you can see the visual representation. See how the dark half and the light half kind of shows that. Watch what happens when we play this at the end. The audio goes out. But look what I can do with the crossfade is I can make it really long. It's got the sucker stuff on it too. From Mateo's, since we're using Mateo's music. But you can see the longer it is, the more and slow dramatic your fade out is. Now, what's interesting is basically using that fade is exactly the same as doing what I just did right here, is making a keyframe and fading it out. Well, listen. Why use one? Well, what just convenience, so you don't have to draw the keyframes. You can do that. Also, what's interesting is these three different fades have different arcs. So a constant fade is basically drawing these two lines. It doesn't really have an arc. But if I use an exponential fade, it actually has a sharp, instead of being a straight line, it's kind of more like a curve. So if we make this longer, you can hear that it actually fades out slightly quicker. Really hard, not that noticeable, but I tell you, once you start getting into editing, these three act slightly differently, especially audio editing. While we're here in audio transitions, let's talk about video transitions. We didn't really talk about this last week, as I remember, but basically what I'm going to do is let's take this clip. I'm going to make an edit here. I'm just randomly making edits, dragging it together. Here's our two edits. This is a jump cut edit. All right, let's just mute the creepy noises. All right, it's still creepy, still worse. But what if we wanted to transit? So our transition right now is called a jump cut. It's just two images put together. Who can tell me a different type of transition? Spin. That is he actually a fade to black. Okay, so a fade to black is where one, and look, we actually have in here a bunch of different types of I'm going to go into dissolves, and I'm going to do a dip to black right here, which is actually going to fade to black in between the two images. Watch what happens. Yeah, no, this is here. We can actually like make it, this is like the most convenient way. And look, the longer we make it, we just click on the edge and we can drag it out. We can make a really slow fade to black. I really didn't think fade to black was going to be the first one that we picked, or spin dissolve, but the normal one is called a dissolve, right? This is a cross dissolve. So a cross dissolve is a fade between one image and another. This is the most common transition outside a normal cut, is a dissolve. What does a dissolve represent in filmmaking? Just narratively. That looks kind of cool, but a dissolve is a passage of time. So when we use that to tell a story, we genuinely use it to say like time elapsed, right? Jump cuts kind of keep us in the scene, but if you use a dissolve, now straight cuts or straight edits are really the 90% of what you're going to be doing. These dissolves are intentional. The dip to black can be effective. A cross dissolve can be effective. Look, we have a pre-built dip to white. This is like when Harry Potter died and he finds Gandalf at the station. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, look, I woke up. I went to heaven. You could dip to white. We can actually, what's fun about these dissolves too is we can actually go in and change where the edit starts or begins. More about that in the future, but we can actually build a dip to any color if you want. So dip to red, dip to, I'm just naming colors now, purple, you understand. Yes. There's some other dissolves in here that we'll talk about in the future, but pretty much play around. They're pretty much like the difference between an exponential fade and a constant power as far as like that. Morph cut, you're going to use if you're interviewing and you're trying to hide an edit. It's almost never works. But let's talk about some of these other transitions. Who can tell me, anybody know what a wipe is? Yeah, anyone see Star Wars? Here, let's check out a wipe. Again, another passage of time, really used in old filmmaking, not used as much. What's fun about the wipe, though, is the wipe we can click in here, and in our effect control of the dissolve, we can actually change where the direction the wipe comes from. Right now, it's right to left. Geronimo never brought your headset, huh?
But you can tell them at time.
Oh, okay, great. All right, look, I changed the direction. Now it's fading up. Or I can go in and just by choosing the arrows around here, I can make it wipe diagonally. Pretty cool, huh? All right, that's a wipe. All right. Check this one. Check out this type of wipe. It's called a barn door. Oh, look, and it's red. It wants to render. So I'm going to hit, oh. We actually, because it's the red file, I think we're encountering the, all right, let me do my, there. All right. When it's red, I hit enter or return, and now I'm rendering. It's not taking, and look, now it turns green, which means it's rendered. And you can see our barn door. Now, when we're working with something that needs to be rendered, what we really need to know is if we make any single change to any of the clips in the rendering, we break the rendering. So what does that mean? Watch what happens if I'm like, okay, I want to reverse that. I want the barn doors to close. Oh, I'm red again. I'm going to hit render. Now, you could probably preview it when it's red, but it's going to play back terribly. So, oh, there's my barn doors closing. Okay, that's a barn door wipe. There's insert wipes, but we also have other fun transitions here in our After Effects that are pre-built. I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of these, when do you ever see them? A boring PowerPoint presentation. Someone's trying to like, hey, it's really boring. Or I see it a lot in like my editing students, like, oh, I want to use every transition. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to use straight edits, you're going to use maybe dissolves, and you're going to use maybe wipes. Everything else is just fun. And let me tell you, if you're making something and you're like, I really want to use this slide transition, use it 3 times in your piece. If you use something once, it feels like an error. If you use something twice, it feels like a coincidence. But if you use something 3 times, it feels intentional. Okay? That's what I like to say. Check this out. There's a slide. Kind of like a wipe, but not really, because the whole image on top is sliding on top of the other one. All right. Oh, you want to see a whip? It's kind of cool. After Effects, that's kind of music video-ish. And like we're working with here, let's choose a part of this image that's not out of focus so we can determine what's in focus and what's not. All right, let's check that whip out again. So see, it kind of forces a unfocusing of the image. Here's a split. What do you think split's going to do? James McAvoy? Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, they cut it in half. Wow, that's cool. All right. Yeah, you can play around with these. Here's page peels. These are really ridiculous. All right. You get it? It's like a book. There's some obsolete ones. Oh, yeah, these are way obsolete. Check out the cube spin. No one's ever going to use that. They're really PowerPoint-y. Iris is something that you see in old movies. Let's just look at the round. Okay. The round iris. Now, the iris refers to the iris of the camera. And we can see the iris out. Now, they used to do this a lot in old movies because the way they used to transition was literally would close the iris. And that's where, like, if you see a fade to black in an old movie, it always is a circle that goes there. They're literally just closing the camera because they didn't have the ability to do these transitions back then. They were literally cutting film, right? So there's the round one, here's the cross one. You can definitely play with these. Yeah, look, why would you use this? Maybe a music video if you're in the 90s. What else? Slide, I think. Oh, okay, the zoom I like. Sometimes I use this. In a feature film? No. In like a commercial, maybe. Here's a cross zoom. All right. Really slow, it sucks. Faster is fun. So zoom in and zoom out really quick. Definitely a commercial thing, right? I use that definitely in commercials sometimes. But are we ever going to put this in our feature film, our student film? Yeah, every cut. Any questions? What time are we at? Okay, I am actually going to call it for my lecture right now. We can have the people here take advantage of the editing time, or at home, feel free to reach out to me directly. Thank you so much. But we covered audio, we covered the built-in transitions and the video transitions. Next week, we're going to get into a lot more. I definitely want all of you, especially those who aren't in class, to start editing. I'm going to start to want to see your work by the end of next week. Something. I want to know that you can put two images together and put some audio under it. Okay. And if you need stuff, please reach out. I'm going to upload a Dropbox file, make it available of this horror film that everyone can edit if they want. I can do it to a Dropbox. It's going to be a long download, but there you go. All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. All right. Okay. We got to see Morty one more time. All right. And I'm going to stop the recording. Stopped.